In several of our other videos, we've talked about using Google Classroom itself. We have created forms as quizzes and loaded them into classrooms. We have created document handouts for students, and we've even looked at Classroom as a blogging tool. But how do we connect other apps, web pages, and services with your classroom? And there are some advantages to doing this. For one, it saves you time by not having to type in your roster every time you go to use a new app. It's also a way of getting all of the students in your class on the same page. And it makes it easier for students to interact with your activities and presentations. And I want to show you a few of the options that you have, but there are many more. So let's go on the tour. The first Google Classroom integration that I want to talk about is the Share to Classroom extension. This is a very powerful tool for working with students in Classroom. And you can find the extension on your Chromebook or in Chrome right here in this bar next to the address bar in your browser. I'm on the Google Arts and Culture website, and I'm on their natural history section. And there are a lot of really neat resources that students might enjoy: 360-degree videos, history of discovery, and Google is constantly putting information collected from museums and other sources onto this website. But let's say that I wanted to create an assignment based on this website, or post an announcement, or ask a question, or just simply push this web page to students. I can do that using the Share to Classroom extension. And so all I have to do is go up here to this little classroom icon and click on it. And what I'm going to get is a list of all the classrooms that I teach. I'm also going to see the classrooms that I'm enrolled in. And if I'm allowed to post them, I can use the Share to Classroom extension to put an announcement on those as well. But I'm going to go into our sample classroom, the one that we've been using. And you can see that what we get is we get a sort of picture and link to the website. And our default option is to push this to students. So if students are sitting in your classroom with their Chromebooks open and they are in your class, you can simply push this button here and it will open up a new tab on their Chromebooks with this web page opened. So it's a great way to get all of your students on the same page. But there are other things that we can do with this extension as well. And if we go to this drop-down menu, we can see a lot of familiar options to us. We could make an announcement, say we just wanted to alert students to the fact that this web page was out there and it's a great resource for them. Or we could ask a question about a web page, any web page, or we could create an assignment out of this web page. And this could be a web app too. So it doesn't have to just be an informational web page. But let's go ahead and just ask a question about the natural history website. And this is going to be really simple, but I'm just going to click that. And what you're going to get is the interface that you use in Classroom, but here in this little box. And I'm just going to ask a question like, what do you think of the design of this web page? And we'll leave that as a short answer question. And then we have a couple of other options here where students can reply to each other or students can edit their answers. And now this is all going into sample classroom. And then what I'm going to do is just press ask. And that will post this to your Google Classroom. And so let's go over and look at that. So if I go over into Google Classroom, you can see that Google is notifying us that our stream was updated. So we can go ahead and click show. And then this has gone out automatically to all of our students. And it is a question that we've asked. And we can see we get our typical indications of who has done the question and who has not done the question. So that's pretty neat with the Share to Classroom extension. The next thing I want to look at is how to integrate your Pear Deck presentations with Google Classroom. So here we are in Pear Deck, and I want to show you how to integrate this with Google Classroom to make it easier for your students to join presentations and also to get information from the presentations that they participate in. The first thing we want to do is we want to go to this add-ons button in the sidebar here that looks like a gear. So let's go ahead and click that. And what we're going to get are the add-ons that are available to Pear Deck. And the first one that you want to make sure is activated is Google Classroom. There will be a link down here in the bottom to activate the add-on. And the second one is this takeaways link. And once again, there will be a link to activate the add-on. When you activate these add-ons, Google will ask you for some permissions, and it is fine to go ahead and allow that. But let's head back over to the home screen and start presenting one of our Pear Decks. So let's say I wanted to present this Pear Deck to the class. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and that should open it up. And then I get the button to start presenting it. So what's going to happen is it is going to upload the slides into a new session. And what we're going to get is the sign-on screen for students. And so that when students go to peardeck.com/join, they would normally type in this code in order to join the class. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our teacher dashboard. So once that opens up, and you got to pick your username, you're going to get a view of Pear Deck for the teacher, for you. And so once it initializes, what you will see is the live view over on the right-hand side. So we're seeing that join and the code. And then as your students type in this code, you'll see them appear here. But since we've activated the Google Classroom add-on in Pear Deck, we now have the ability to invite a class. So I'm going to go ahead and click that button. And what it's going to do is it's going to connect to our Google Classrooms. And once it does, we're going to get a list of all the classrooms that we teach. I'm going to pick our sample classroom that we've been using, and I'm going to go ahead and just simply click this blue Invite This Section button. And now what you can see in your dashboard is your entire roster for that classroom is loaded in here, and we're waiting for students to join. And as they join, they will turn a different color. But let's look at that from the student's perspective and see how easy it is now to get into your Pear Deck session. So now I'm in my student account, and the student has gone to peardeck.com/join, and they're going to join our session here. Now notice that they don't have to type in the code. They can just push the blue join button. And I haven't started presenting, but I have another add-on included that allows students to sort of register their mood before they begin the class. But you can see it was very easy for the student to get in. And then once I start presenting as the teacher, they'll begin to see the Pear Deck slides. Now I'm back in the teacher screen. And let's say I'm ready to end the session. So I'm going to go over here to the three dots, and I'm going to go ahead and end this session. And I'm going to give it a name, and we'll just call it Sample Classroom. Who is the person in the picture? And then maybe give it a date. What is the date? 9/21/2016, just to help us keep track of it. You'll know at the beginning, we enabled the publish student takeaways add-on in Pear Deck. So I'm going to go ahead and check that. And what that's going to do is it's going to publish a Google Doc to each student account with all of their answers and all of the slides included on it so that they can review it later. And then I'll just click save and end this session. And then if I want, I can share this link to Classroom. So students could go into their classroom and click on this and get their takeaways. So that's another way that students can get it. And I'll go ahead and do that. And that's going to open up our Classroom app. And we will get to choose a class. And I'm going to choose our sample classroom. And we get to choose an action. And so I'm just going to make an announcement with that. But you could do other things. You could turn that into an assignment to have students elaborate on the presentation that they went through and the answers that they gave. There are a lot of options, but I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then it will show you that what it looks like. You can modify the description of your announcement, or you could post it in a topic if you wanted to. And then you just simply go ahead and post it, and that will be there on your Google Classroom. And you can click here to view it. It will open up. We'll go into Sample Classroom, and you'll see that Pear Deck takeaways are available to students through this link. They'll get their own individual one when they click this, and then they have that announcement there. So that's the Google Classroom integration with Pear Deck. Next, I want to move on to how you can integrate WeVideo with Google Classroom. Now I'm in WeVideo on my home screen. WeVideo is the video editor that we're using with Chromebooks. It works in the cloud. And as you can see, I have several options here at the top. And I have already edited and finished some videos. So I'm going to go over to my videos tab here, and I've got these kind of organized, but I'm going to click into one of these folders, and I am going to open up one of my videos. And what if I wanted to share this finished video with Classroom? Well, there's a little button down here that has the Classroom icon. So I can just click on it. And very similar to what we did in Pear Deck, we're going to choose the class that we want to share it with. And I'll pick our sample classroom. And then we can choose an action. So we can create an assignment, ask a question, or just simply make an announcement. So in this case, let's go ahead and turn this into an assignment. And let's click the Go button to do that. And we will get our interface for making an assignment. So I'm going to say, this is called using Google Forms to make a quiz. The instructions will be to watch the video and create your own quiz. And we could put it in a topic if we wanted to. I won't this time. And then we can go ahead and assign that to our students. So once again, we get a very similar screen that we did in Pear Deck. It says you've posted to your class, and we can click over to Classroom to view it. And that's going to load up our course stream. And it will load in, and we can see that we have made an assignment out of that video we created. We have 5 students in this class and they haven't done it. And as they do it, the assignment, they'll turn it into you and you'll see that it's done. So that's how you can integrate videos that you create in WeVideo with your Google Classroom. So what I've given are just a few examples of apps that we have that work well with Google Classroom, but it's not limited to WeVideo, Pear Deck, or the Share to Classroom extension. If you go into the Google Chrome Web Store, you can see that there are a number of apps that you can use with Classroom, and I urge you to go ahead and explore these. The nice thing about Google Classroom is it can become the hub for your class. Your roster is in there, and it can become very easy to create assignments and distribute materials to students very easily once you have your classroom set up. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, and as always, let us know if you have any questions.